In this video, we'll be covering the settings page, specifically the orders tab. So the first thing we'll see at the top is the home page. This is just a matter of preference. Do you prefer to see the dashboard or your orders page when you log in? Next, we see the button to view our Stripe account. If we click that, it'll redirect us over to Stripe for us to see any upcoming payouts and any transactional information that you need from them. If this is your first time setting up your account, this button will say Connect Bank Account, and you simply click that to get redirected to Stripe and set up the account. Next, we'll be talking about transfer day allowances. So first of all, what is a transfer day? A transfer day is just a delivery or a pickup day. It's a way to combine those into one word. So we're being asked right now, do we want to have one transfer day per order or multiple? So if I'm placing an order on Thursday and I'm able to get deliveries on Monday and Wednesday, do I want to allow my customer to only order for Monday and only order for Wednesday? Or can they order for both at once? If the answer is both at once, that would be multiple delivery days. There will be a full video below specifically talking about how to set this up. I just wanted to give a brief understanding. Next is transfer day rules. So same rules means that both of our delivery days or pickup days have the same cutoff time, they have the same pickup locations, and the same fees. If we choose different rules and then click set days, you could see I have my days separated here where I could have different cutoff points, even different minimum requirements. I'm going to stick with same rules and 1 day per order for now. That's usually the easiest and most common solution we see, so we'll stick with that. Next is transfer type. So do you offer delivery and pickup or just one or the other? Feel free to toggle these on and off as you need. If you have them both selected, you of course could select what is the default type that the customer will see when they reach the checkout page. Now we're setting what are our delivery and pickup days. In this case, I'm setting up a store where I'll be doing both delivery and pickup on Monday and Tuesday. Then, optionally, you could set pickup hours or delivery hours. And you could also set holidays. So if you're not going to be available for Christmas or New Year's, you can come in here and set a specific day in which you do not want orders to be received on. Moving down, we have delivery distance type. Pretty self-explanatory, but you have radius or zip codes. So how far are you willing to travel? This would be a 20-mile radius from your location, or you could specifically enter the zip codes separated by a comma on which areas you're willing to deliver to. Next, we have cutoff period type. So in the example I explained earlier, I want to have a Thursday night cutoff at 11 p.m. That applies to both my Monday and my Tuesday delivery days. But maybe I want them to have a timed cutoff instead, in which case I would just change this to something like 2 days and 23 hours, right? And it'll show us here what our cutoff for Monday is and what our cutoff for Tuesday is. We typically recommend to stick with the single day just because this is a lot easier for your customers to keep track of, especially if they're on subscriptions. It's much easier to tell your customers, hey, our cutoff is Thursday night at 11 p.m., and then nobody will ever miss that and get their order in late. Next, we have our required minimums, so either price-based or meals-based. And next, we can enable or disable delivery fees. So there's 4 types of delivery fees. You have flat rate by postal. So we'll just click this and we can come in and enter our zip code and then enter what we want to charge for that zip code. You could also add an entire city if you're a large enough company to handle that, but most companies do enter individual zip codes. Next, you could charge by mileage. So what this would be is a base amount plus an amount per mile. So let's say it's 50 cents, 50 cents plus $1 per mile. And finally, we could do range. So an example of range, I'll add 2 here, is 1 to 5 miles is $5, and maybe 6 to 11 miles is $10. Next, we have processing fees. So processing fees are an entirely optional fee where you can try to recoup some of the cost of doing business by transferring that onto the customer. Many people like this, many people don't. It's really a matter of preference. If you do enable it, you could do either a flat rate or a percentage based. So just to reiterate, this isn't a fee that GoPrep is collecting or even Stripe. This is a fee that you could personally add on to your store for your customers. There's also the option for custom fees. So if it's not one of the fees we've listed above, you can come here, add a new fee, name the fee, what type of fee is it, and is it available on all orders or only certain types of orders, such as ones from customers. Next, we have delivery and pickup instructions. So these will be displayed automatically depending on what the customer selects. It'll show on the checkout page, and it'll also show in the confirmation email that they receive. And then finally, your notes for customer will also show in that confirmation email for the customer. Moving down, we have sales tax. This could be disabled or enabled depending on what state you're in. If you leave this field blank, it will automatically try to find the correct sales tax rate for your location. However, we highly recommend that you consult with an accountant or you know what your local rates are and you enter this amount in manually. So for example, in my location, this is about 6.68%. Next, you'll have the option to apply sales tax after fees. So do you want to apply these to the subtotal or after the subtotal once we have the fees on? Again, different states operate differently, so this may be something that applies to your state or it doesn't. And next we have time zone, which is very straightforward. Just select your time zone and your statement descriptor. So what would you like to show up on the credit card statements for your customers after they place an order? And last but certainly not least, the most important is the ability to open your store. After all other settings are done and your menu is set up, you'll come here and toggle the switch from open to closed. In this case, I just toggled it off, and this is a good exercise. It's asking me, since I have subscriptions, what would I like to do with them? I obviously don't want to pause them all unless I'm taking a break for a few months. So in most cases, if you're just temporarily closing the store, you'll go ahead and say keep them and it won't have any effect on your subscriptions. And then you could always add a reason why you're closed. And in this case, I'll just open back up.